You set 3 priorities for the quarter. By the end of the leadership meeting, you have agreement in a room. And by Monday morning, 5 different interpretations of what they mean. If that pattern is familiar, your business is losing real revenue in the gap between strategic intent and team execution. Bain & Company found that companies' strategies deliver 63% of their promised financial value. The missing 37 cents on every dollar is not lost in execution. It is the loss in the gap between what leaders see and what the team can act on. In this episode, we're going to walk through the alignment map that will help you achieve a team that executes from the same source of truth and foundation. Hi, I'm Summer, founder of Driven Growth, and we eliminate inefficiencies that stunt growth. So what is a strategically minded operations plan? And why do so many growing businesses treat it like the enemy? Most leaders confuse two things and call them both strategy. One is the destination, and the other is execution, what people do on a Tuesday morning. Roger Martin, who shaped modern corporate strategy through his work with Procter Gamble and the book Playing to Win, put it the cleanest. Strategy is a step of integrated choices. A plan is not a strategy. And Michael Porter, whose work effectively created the field of competitive strategy, went even further. The essence of strategy, he said, is choosing what not to do. A strategically minded operations plan is the bridge between the two. It names the destination, names the few choices that get you there, and gives the team a single truth foundation to operate from. So nobody is reading your mind to figure out what matters this week. It is not overhead, it's not theater, not real businesses with budgets only. It is the page that lets a small team make the same call without you in the room. Let me show you what that looks like in practice. A few years ago, I took on a fractional COO role at a small company that had grown faster than its planning had. A smart team and real revenue, but no installed strategic operating cadence. Every leadership meeting was the owner explaining direction one more time. Every project plan was a near miss because no one knew which priority outranked which. Tools were half adopted, processes drifted within a quarter. Team worked hard, but the work didn't compound. So we installed the discipline, clear strategic destination, with a few choices that mattered named on a page everyone could see. 3 priorities from the year derived from that destination. Quarterly OKRs, objectives and key results that the team wrote together, not cascaded down from me or the owner. A weekly alignment beat that asked one question: are we still working on the right thing this week? Within months, project timeline delays dropped by 85%. Adherence to new processes and tool proficiency had reached almost 90% efficiency. Initial cost savings cleared $500,000 with year-over-year savings on top of the cadence compounded. The arguing stopped, the team made decisions without needing me in the room. And that is what a strategic operations plan does for you. 3 things keep most SMBs from installing one, and let's name those now. 1. Strategy mistaken for a to-do list. Most leaders write down what they plan to do, and they call that a strategy. As Roger Martin has said, what most strategic planning is to the world of business has nothing to do with strategy. It's a set of activities the company says it's going to do. Doing is the execution. Strategy is the choices about what to do. The cost shows up directly on the P&L. Payroll spent on work that will not compound into revenue. 2. The owner's head strategy. The destination is real, but it lives in one person's mind and never gets translated into a form that the team can use. Every priority debate becomes a guessing game about what the leader wants, and 2/3 of the meetings get spent reading the room. The cost is the most expensive labor in a room. The leader's time spent on translation work that should never be necessary. 3. Goals without architecture. Annual goals get set with energy in January and abandoned by May because there is no cadence and no alignment beat that ties weekly work with quarterly outcomes. A principle widely held in OKR practice puts it best. OKRs don't cascade, they align. Skip the alignment beat and the goals die in February. The cost is a full year of compounding growth forfeited because the team has no shared scoreboard. If you remember one thing from this episode, let it be this: stop cascading goals. Start aligning them. It saves more revenue, time, and team energy than any other practice. And once your team is aligned, the ongoing investment is minutes a week, not hours. Cascading is the default. Leadership writes the company OKRs, and the VPs write them as their own, and the directors rewrite them again. By the time the goal reaches the people doing the work, the original intent has been translated out. Every change at the top forces a rewrite of the whole tree. People stop trusting goals that keep moving. Alignment is different. The team writes down their OKRs against the same strategic destination, the same North Star. And when everyone confirms in one room that what they each have written is consistent with everyone else's, the same destination, different angles, no translation losses, no waterfall. The goals belong to the people executing them. Here's the test. Ask any team member 2 questions. What is the most important thing the business is doing this year? And what are you doing this week that moves it forward? If you get the same answer from every person in the room, you have alignment. If you get 5 different answers, you have cascade. Try this Friday with your leadership team, without warning and without a prep document. Do not grade the room. Listen for the gap between what you think they know and what they say back. The gap is the work. Cascade is the bug. Alignment is the future. Let me show you what this looks like at scale before I bring it back to your business. In 1979, Intel was facing a strategic crisis. Motorola released a new microprocessor, and Intel's competing product was losing the battles that mattered for the future of personal computing. Intel CEO Andy Grove made one strategic choice: position their microprocessor as a better system, not a better chip. He named the campaign Operation Crush when he installed the operating cadence to execute that choice. Every team across Intel, every quarter, wrote OKRs that all pointed at one objective: become the leader in their category. Within a year, Intel won the IBM PC contract, and that single win shaped personal computing for the next 3 decades. The strategic choice was Grove's. The execution came from the operating cadence that turned that choice into weekly work for every team. The same pattern shows up at SMB scale every day. The names are different, but the principle is identical. A destination named clearly enough that the team can write their own goals against it, and a cadence that keeps them aligned to it. The leader who treats that work as overhead pays for it on P&L, and the leader who treats it as an engine gets the team executing from the same truth foundation at whatever scale of business. Here is how you start doing that with your business this week. In this episode, we're tackling the strategy to execution gap using the alignment map, a 4-step process any leader can start building in an afternoon. Step 1 is where most leaders skip ahead. Committing the destination to paper feels too big, but I want you to do it anyways. It's a step that gives your team truth foundation to operate from. So that step 1 is name the strategic destination. In 1 page, you are going to answer 3 questions. Where is the business going? What does that matter? And what does winning look like in 3 to 10 years? Jim Collins called the largest version of that BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal, based on the research in his books Built to Last and Good to Great. You do not need that label, but you do need the destination written so clearly that any team member could read it once and explain it back. If it lives only in your head, it doesn't count. Step 2, name the few choices that get you there. 3 to 5 strategic priorities for the year, each derived from one destination. Each priority names what you're choosing to do and what you're choosing not to do. At SMB scale, these stay operational and pointed. Establish ourselves as the operations partner of choice for mid-market SaaS clients. Or diversify revenue away from our top 2 customers by year end. The priorities that did not make the list got rejected for a reason. That is where the strategy lives. Step 3, write quarterly OKRs together. Each team drafts their own against the same destination. Then the room confirms alignment with one shared question. If we accomplish these, do we move the priority forward? If yes, you're aligned. If no, you're still cascading. And step 4, install a weekly alignment beat. This doesn't need to be a separate 30-minute meeting. 5 minutes inside a one-on-one works, or an ASIC check-in if your team is distributed. Discipline matters far more than the format. One question every week. What are you each doing to move the strategic priority forward? Let's recap the steps of the alignment map. Step 1, name the strategic destination on one page. Step 2, derive 3 to 5 strategic priorities from that destination. Step 3, write quarterly OKRs together. Step 4, run a short weekly alignment beat. The result, strategy on one page, execution in one cadence. Strategy is not the deck or the offsite. It's the integrated set of choices that decide where your business goes. Execution is the daily work that turns those choices into results. When a team operates from a shared strategic truth, the P&L follows. Less wasted payroll, fewer abandoned initiatives, more compounding growth. Alignment creates clarity, and clarity is the kindest thing a leader can give their team. You're learning, you're growing, and you're building a system-led business where the team executes from the same truth foundation. I'm your host, Summer Ames Prodan. We'll fix another inefficiency on the next episode of Driven Growth.